A lot of people moving to the Austin area actually assume that you're talking about living directly in Austin, but that's not always the case for everybody. In fact, some people love what the suburbs offer, and some people love what the city offers. Some people even move from the city to the suburbs and then back to the city. But in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what the difference is if you're looking to relocate to Austin. They're having a hard time deciding if you should live near downtown and be considered Austin, or if you should choose one of these surrounding areas. Now walk with me through this video as we talk about the home pricing for Austin versus the suburbs, the commute, the schools, the lifestyle, and what you can really expect when you actually make that move to Austin. And by the end of this video, you should know exactly where you want to move without even having to spend thousands of dollars visiting Austin, Texas. If you've been even considering Austin, Texas, you see online all the time that people always talk about homes in Austin, homes for sale in Austin. People basically have Austin as this big umbrella. They use the word Austin to basically relate to all the surrounding areas, but that could be further from the truth because Leander, Georgetown, Kyle, Lakeway is entirely different from what Austin has to offer. So if you've been on that fence, you're thinking about relocating here, this video is going to be perfect for you. So if you're watching this video, then you're probably interested in homes in Austin versus the actual suburbs. Now, they are definitely a very different vibe. If you've ever scrolled through my channel, you've seen what a lot of the suburbs have to offer, but I never really showcased what Austin has to offer. And it's going to be a very modern look for the most part. Now, Austin's big thing is keep Austin weird, and a lot of the homes here actually have that. They have this very unique character traits with the homes. They're very different. And if that is what you're looking for, then that is great. Austin has a ton of unique homes. To be honest, they have some of the most unique homes in the entire state of Texas. So if you are looking for something more unique, a home that has character and is different from your neighbors, then Austin has that. Whereas if you shift your focus towards the suburbs, maybe besides the west side of Lakeway, Bee Cave, and Icewood, where there's going to be a lot more custom homes, most of the times you're going to be working with a builder who has set floor plans, and most of the homes will look pretty similar. Builders will typically have about 10 different floor plans that you can choose from, and you can go in and pick the different design features inside, different brick color and stucco, but overall in the community, it's going to be roughly the same. If you've ever driven through Austin in one of the areas or pockets downtown versus one of these suburbs around Austin, you can definitely tell there's a huge difference. Now, besides that, there is a difference in pricing as well. Now, obviously it depends on the suburb and the size of the home that you get, but Austin's price per square foot typically ranges anywhere from about $240 to about $310. Again, you are going on the west side or, West Lake or on the water, you're definitely going to be pushing 500 plus price per square foot. Now, if we look at what the suburbs of Austin has to offer, they range, but for the most part, you can find homes in that around low 200 price per square foot. So you do want something a bit more affordable, suburbs will probably be your better option, but you want to live closer to downtown, there are options for you as well. I don't think you really have to be restrained from the suburbs or Austin. I think you can really find your style of home and price point in both areas. One of the big things people have to decide is the lifestyle they want to live. When you're buying a home and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, at this point, you're not buying just a home anymore. You're looking to see what lifestyle comes with that home. And again, the lifestyle that you're going to be living every single day from the suburbs versus downtown is going to be very different. Are you somebody who, wants to walk Labor Lake, wants to grab a bite to eat at a trendy coffee shop or breakfast place downtown? Do you enjoy more of the nightlife and being around people all the time? Then if that's you, downtown might be more of what you're looking for. If you want a bit more of a peaceful environment, you like to walk through parks, you might even have kids, more of a sense of a community lifestyle, then the suburbs are going to be what you are looking for. Both offer two very unique, great lifestyles for everybody. So you really just have to ask yourself, what do you want your weekend to look like? What do you want your after hours of work to look like? Because then once you answer those questions, you're able to understand, do you want to live 10, 15 minutes away from Austin or in Austin because you love what downtown has to offer and you go down there all the time and want to be close? Or do you want to live in areas like Georgetown or Round Rock or Kyle, where they have their own little downtowns? Each area is going to offer a lifestyle specifically for you and what you're looking for. Now we have homes, we have the lifestyle. Now commute is probably one of the biggest complaints when it comes to Austin. Everybody pretty much knows, whether you're from Austin or you live in another city, I-35 is A, always under construction, and B, always filled with traffic. So if you are having to, commute, it really just depends on, where you're commuting to. A lot of people I know do work in downtown, and so they decide to, live downtown, whether they're buying a house, a townhome, or a condo, because commute times really matter. Do you really want to spend an hour of your day commuting, or even more, an hour and a half, depending on that traffic? So if you did live in Austin and enjoy what Austin has to offer, then why not buy something that is near that area? Now, if you do work in, Round Rock or Taylor, or, more so on the north side of Austin where a lot of people work, but obviously you should probably shift your focus to some of the other suburbs that are in that area. A lot of people work at Dell or Apple or Samsung, and a lot of those headquarters are up on the north side. So great places like Round Rock, Georgetown, Leander, Pflugerville are always at the top of everybody's list because they only have to drive about 15 minutes to their work. And to be honest, a lot of people don't even really consider their commute times when they're online looking at different homes. They're kind of just looking at the homes and the pricing and, the specs of the home and what it looks like. But, a lot of people forget that you are driving to work 5 days a week if you are in office. So commute times are very important because they can save you so much time and headache, whether your commute is 10 to 15 minutes versus an hour and a half every single day. Save your sanity and do that research and understand where you're living actually matters. Now we talked about lifestyle, but there is a very different vibe when it comes to living in Austin versus living in a community or, a suburb. And it's kind of what we're going to be talking about, is the fact that if you are in Austin, it's very individualized, right? You're just buying a single home. Most of the time it isn't in a community. Now there are a few areas and little pockets where developers are coming in and building 10 to 15 homes or townhomes. So you do kind of get a sense of community, but for the most part, Austin it feels very much like a city living. Whereas if you shift your focus towards what the suburbs have to offer, it is entirely different, a 180. You're going to have that sense of community. Inside your home community, you will have parks, playgrounds, you have the amenities, you have different community events. So I think it's more family friendly when it comes to the suburbs, and families still love to live downtown. Don't get me wrong at all. It just depends on the vibe and the lifestyle, again, that you're looking for. Austin hosts a ton of events. I see a lot more people in their mid to late 20s and early 30s. They don't really have kids and enjoy, going out and maybe living more of an active lifestyle. They typically choose Austin or about 10 minutes away from Austin versus those suburbs. In fact, for me personally, I only live about 15 to 20 minutes away from the city. I love it. The reason being is I do love going downtown, but I also enjoy my commute and what the area that I'm in has to offer. I'm not a huge city person. That's why I decided to live about 15 to 20 minutes away from the city. Now, if you're sitting here watching this video and feel a bit overwhelmed, my phone number and email is up on the screen. I serve both the Austin area and the surrounding suburbs, and would love to walk you through the entire process. Just feel free to reach out to me. and I will walk you through everything. Now, the final thing is the school is very important to people who are relocating to Austin. And a lot of times when people reach out to me and are very school oriented and schools are at the top of their list, they typically do shift their focus to what the suburbs have to offer. But that doesn't mean Austin has bad schooling. In fact, they do actually have really good schools, but you have seen in the news a little bit where they are seeing some serious budget cuts and even leading to some school closures. So when you are a parent looking at stuff like this, you can feel a bit of a sense of being worried. And that's why so many people shift their focus to the suburbs, because when I talk to people about what they're looking for and they say schools are the most important, they never really mention to me about the Austin ISD. The big ones that they're going to be mentioning is, anything in Lakeway or B Cave, so Lakeway ISD. But the big ones really are going to be Leander ISD and Round Rock ISD. These are the two that consistently get ranked in the top of the list, especially for most people who have their eye on a public school. These are the areas that you need to be looking at. Now, it's not to say that Austin doesn't have great schools, because they do have some really solid options for you guys. But I think the big challenge with Austin ISD is the quality varies so much from the different areas, whether you're west, north, east, or south, 10 to 15 minutes away from Austin. The specific school in Austin really matters a lot. If you do decide to move to the suburbs, then I think you have a lot more options when you're looking at, Round Rock ISD. There's going to be more schools to choose from, or Leander ISD or Georgetown or Liberty Hill, whichever area you decide, it's going to be more options for you guys. Now, one thing I always encourage people, whether you're watching this video, seeing all the headlines online, or, just on social media, seeing other agents, is not only look at, the home that you're searching for, but really research the area. You have so many suburbs around Austin that are incredible, and so many spots in Austin that are incredible. So see the direction of that area and where it is headed, what development is coming out there, what the lifestyle is like in that area. Because although a home is very important and your budget is very important, the lifestyle is also something that a lot of people overlook and will completely forget about when buying a home. And when you don't think about those types of things, you buy a home and then you just completely regret it, because your commute's an hour, you're 30 minutes away from everything you actually enjoy doing, and you overpaid for an area you didn't even like. So I think at the end of this, you really just need to ask yourself a couple questions of what really is important to you when you're moving here. Is it the schools? Is it the lifestyle? Is it the pricing? To figure out the answers to those questions, then you'll be able to understand, is Austin going to be the best place for you, or do you want to live in one of these surrounding suburbs? Now, if you would like my help and you feel a bit overwhelmed with this, again, my phone number and email is up on the screen. Reach out to me. I will walk you through the entire process from start to finish and help you secure your brand new home. Click this video right here to actually see a full community tour of a new construction community in Leander, Texas, if you are looking to relocate to Austin.